So starting with blood, how would blood get on the linens at freak-offs?
I was expected to have freak-offs on my period.
Who expected you to do freak-offs on your period?
Sean.
Who decided how many entertainers you would be with in a single hotel night?
Sean.
How did you feel during the freak-offs when Sean beat you?
Worthless, just like dirt, like I didn't matter to him. But that I was nothing, like absolutely nothing.
How did you react to seeing news coverage and social media posts about Cassie's lawsuit?
Because there was 3 specific pages that was just a harrowing resemblance to what I was experiencing.
The shocking verdict of Diddy's federal case remains a trending topic, and as the dust is settling, one alternate juror is speaking out post-verdict. Now, that juror was an alternate, did not deliberate in the case, so I want to be clear, he was one of 18 in that group that heard the whole case, but remember, just 12 were on the deliberating panel. Now, he told CNN that he understood the jury's decision and downplayed the infamous freak-off videos. Remember, the jury saw them, the public didn't see them, the media didn't see them, only the members of the jury, and he called them tame.
No, I mean, they were showing some of the, well, I mean, there was both the freak-offs and hotel nights, as they were called. It was actually like pretty tame.
Really?
Yeah.
Did she?
It was just a lot of rubbing oil and stuff on there. It wasn't anything too, you know, graphic.
Okay, so that was surprising to many people who were watching this trial, thinking that it would have been something incredibly graphic shown to the jury on those tapes. Let's talk about, were the freak-offs more tame than expected? Was this something that was just trumped up in the coverage of the trial? Let's bring in our guests. Still with me, attorneys Mario Gallucci and Tame Pope, and want to welcome in law enforcement expert Sonny Slaughter. Sonny, I'll start with you. What did you think when you heard this juror's comment?
Good morning, Julie and Tommy and Mario. One of the things that I thought immediately was E3. Experience, exposure, and expectations. What was this juror and all of the jurors' experiences, their individual experience and their collective experience? This might be something that they are engaged in, this type of activity. Have they been exposed in other forms which would make it seem unusually tame for them? And their expectations based on what they heard prior to, and then they actually saw the video like all of us. What were our expectations, and were they diminished now, the public, after hearing what this man said? I think it is unusual for me personally that he thought that when someone is saying that they had to have sex and they had to be revived and they had to have, you know, nourishment, and that they went on for this many hours, that it was rather tame. But that is based on my experience and exposure, and his and the other jurors may have differences. So that's why it might be feeling, they might have said, oh, based on him, that it was rather tame.
Sure, I really appreciate those points, Sonny. We all come in there with our own life experiences, right? We all have a different lens in which we see the world through. Thank you for that. Mario, let me go to you next, please. What did you think when you heard that juror say that he found it to be tame?
So I love Sonny's E3. That's very compelling. That's a nice comparison. But you know, the media did a very good job here prior to this trial of talking about these white parties that ended in orgies and had all this sex going on, and which celebrities are going to be involved in these orgies and freak-offs. And then when we get to the trial, you know, that's nothing of what occurred. Plus, we don't see the whole video. Prosecution played what they wanted to play. Defense played what they wanted to play. And this is an alternate juror. It's a juror that never got to deliberate with the whole jury. So, you know, his version of tame may not have been the version that the other jurors thought of if he was in the room deliberating. And one of the jurors pointed out what Sonny just said. He might have thought differently about it. So in his experience, you know, from what he was shown, he thought it was tame.
Great points, Mario. Tame Pope, last but certainly not least, what's your reaction to this, please?
I tell you, it's the old, you can't judge a book by its cover. You know, from everything we are talking about the juror now, you know, you just don't ever know, like Sonny said about life experiences. I will tell you that from everything I heard, I expected some version of Sodom and Gomorrah or Caligula from the Roman orgies. And apparently, if that wasn't the case, I think, you know, the prosecution probably set expectations too high, or, you know, or whatever surrounding facts of the case set expectations too high, and it may have just funneled directly to the verdict that we saw, that there were some things that were done wrong, but other than that, they couched it as consenting adults, no matter how stressful and ridiculous and as Sonny pointed out, exhausting that the activities were. They obviously didn't see them as criminal.
Right. Excellent points, Tommy. Right. I remember thinking back when we heard the government had these tapes, and I remember thinking to myself, oh, wow, is this kind of the, you know, the smoking gun, so to speak, if they've got this stuff on tape, what they're alleging, and then here to see a juror, an alternate juror, saying that Cassie didn't appear to be forced into anything on the tape. You wonder if they were somewhat vindicating to Sean Combs. I mean, it's kind of wild that, you know, perhaps the prosecution didn't do themselves any favors by introducing them. I don't know. Media has not seen them, so just want to say the media did not get to see them. The media tried. What they were trying to do at that courtroom was get a few members of the media to then report back to the pool, but no reports on that. All right, so Diddy, tomorrow is going to be a day where there's going to be a hearing to see whether his sentencing will be moved up from October 3rd. And of course, Court TV will be following that tomorrow.